I know of the show you speak. Can you really give an outsider? He is not an outsider. He is a son of the soil. He is one of us. Of course. Forgive my ignorance, Your Majesty. What I meant to say is this: yes, he's one of us, but he's not accustomed to the way we do things in this land. What if he uses his platform to seduce the people in the ways of the red, white, and blue? What threat, Chancellor? Tell me, do you really think so little of our people? We will allow him to come. We will remind him that he is a citizen of the green, white, and green. If, and only if, he crosses the line, he will be dealt with accordingly. Good evening and welcome to Matthew's Yard for my Black History Month Author Talk. I am Tunji Joseph, a classically trained actor, director, producer, YouTuber, voiceover artist, and currently a teacher in training. And we are here this evening to primarily talk about Whiteboard Black Pieces, the published version of my one-man show, which looks at what it means to be black in the Western world. And for any of you who came to the original version in Matthew's Yard, so this is kind of the homecoming, I did this in the old Matthew's Yard, you will have noticed that the beginning has changed. We'll get into that a little bit later. However, so the topic of what it means to be black in the Western world, that is quite a broad topic. And that topic itself spans hundreds of years. So how was I able to fit a topic that spans hundreds of years into a 45-minute show? It's quite simple actually. I had to find a way to make it relatable to me. And the way I did that was making the show part autobiography and part creative license. So I created some scenes in the show which some people thought would actually happen, but did not. So the title, Whiteboard Black Pieces, Race in the West. How did I come up with that title? So from the very beginning, I was thinking about chessboard. And I really wanted to kind of like incorporate that into the show or to the title itself. And I was just in bed and I was thinking, I need like a catchy title. So I came up with Whiteboard Black Pieces, Race in the West. How being black in the Western world, you have to be quite nimble, as if you're playing a game of chess. And what's kind of like beautiful about the title is that whenever I tell anyone the title, I usually get this kind of reaction, like, say that again. And I usually break it down, and once I do it again, they're like, okay, tell me more. So it's like a Pandora's box almost. So the original show, we did it at Matthew's Yard first, then took it to the West End, and last year, before the pandemic, we were in Nigeria. I was part of the Lagos State Festival, and we had an incredible time out there. And in fact, Lagos plays a really important part, because after I did the festival, I had a week in Lagos just to like chill out. So I went to go and visit family. And a family friend of a friend like actually owned a school, and she was like, "Oh, so you're in the show? Would you like to go to the girls' school and like talk to the girls, about your experience going to uni, drama school, everything?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? It's an opportunity." So we did a Q&A, did that little bit of the show as well. And one of the girls asked me a question, and she said, "Are you thinking about publishing the show?" And at that time, I hadn't thought about it. I thought, "Oh, that's a really good question." So that seed was planted in my mind. And before I started my PGCE, I thought now is the right time to kind of like publish this play. If students are interested, maybe this will inspire them to, I don't know, write or take English more seriously. I don't know. But since school library, they seem to enjoy it. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions for us, just start raising your hand and I'll come to you. How did I get the idea for the play? So I went to drama school. I did an MA, so I went to Arts Ed in Chiswick, and so for one of the modules we had to create characters from scratch. So what did that involve? So that was like, you know, doing research. So what happened to your character as a young person? Were they almost hit by a car? Were they, I don't know, in a park they get hit very hard in the face with a ball? How does that kind of event like affect an individual as they grow up? Then you get into the biomechanics. So how does the person move? How do they talk? What are their mannerisms? Then the final part, the assessment, was for us to go on dates with each other as our characters. Now, I was the only black person on that course, so all of my dates were with white women. So I remember the second day, we were in a cafe, and I was sitting to my back towards the door, and I remember a brother came in, we ordered the coffee. He was dressed really nice, really dapper, in a nice suit. I remember him giving me a look, and I felt uncomfortable because I didn't know what the look was about. So one thought in my mind was like, oh, okay, I see a fellow brother in Chiswick, nice one. Or could it have been, you know, our brothers on a date from white girl, man, he's letting down the side, and I don't know. I didn't have anyone to talk to about this. So I decided to bank that at the back of my mind. But once I finished my course, when I had free time, I wrote that down, and that turned into a scene, and that scene turned into a play, where it explored like a number of topics, such as, you know, the second scene in the show, we go to the deep south in America, and I play a slave master buying a slave at auction, and I take his name from him. And during the first show, after the Q&A, there was an audience member, and I remember him saying, like, how do you do that? How are you able to get so much venom into your words when you're doing that scene? First of all, research, because this actually happened, and being trained, like I can do things that some people might not want to do or might not feel comfortable to do. But there was a deeper meaning, there was a deeper message, how our names have been taken from us. And I remember being in school, not feeling confident with my name, and how that trauma from the past still is present and affects us today. Also, I didn't get a chance to touch on colorism in the show, and colorism is like a big issue, and as many people are aware, colorism is racism's ugly sister. One of the lines I say in the show is that racism isn't dead, that little turd is still alive and kicking. That line came back to me during the Euros 2020 final. What's interesting about that, and I wonder how people in here feel about this, is that as soon as England got into the final, I knew if a black player or black players were responsible for England losing, then all hell would break loose, and all the racists would come out of the woodwork, and we saw, and all was interesting. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny that people came out and they're like, oh my god, racism's still a thing? Wow. I thought we'll pass that, and it just shows people's ignorance, or they're not like willing to accept that racism is a thing and that it needs to be dealt with. Did anyone else find that when England got into the final? Did anyone else have that thought, or was anyone here surprised at the backlash?
No, wasn't surprised.
No, we knew that was going to happen.
One of the other things I talk about is the kind of like African Caribbean dichotomy. How there's, I'm fortunate. I have family in the Caribbean and I have family in Africa, so I don't know. I'm like in a position where I can like really clearly see like there's kind of like a dichotomy there. Like some people are like, oh yeah, respect Africa, and some people are like, oh no, no to Africa, and I guess that comes with colonialism and whatnot. But it is an issue, and it needs to be dealt with. I didn't have enough time to kind of like deal with it, but I highlighted it in the show, and that was that's all I could give it. But it's there for a reason, to spark debate, and that's the thing I like about the show, is that it really does spark debate among people. Also, if you would like to support, I've got a YouTube channel where you can watch like the entirety of the show. It's up there on my channel at Tunji Talks. So if you're interested in seeing the whole show, you can do that. Also make movies and whatnot. My most recent movie was In Front of You, which looked at a black couple, looked at their relationship, how they were friends, but they just couldn't take that extra step to say, let's be a thing, let's be in a relationship. So that's up there on the channel. Very much looking, when I came into the industry, the acting industry, I really wanted to do work that's uplifting, that uplifts black people, because we have enough of, all respect to Noel Clark and adulthood and kidulthood and how that got people jobs, but does that portray black people in our best light? No. And there's kind of like producers will more likely make it feel like adulthood and kidulthood than probably make it feel like I made, but I'm independent to a team. If you'd like to support, you can do that and you'll see more uplifting content. If there's any questions? No? Okay. So in the meantime, we'll do like a book signing in a minute, or if you want to ask questions, feel free. So books are £5. And if you're not able to buy today, you can go on Amazon and simply type in Tunji Joseph, or you can type in whiteboard, black pieces, race and west, and it will pop up. If you would like to write down any comments, write down your details, I've got a black book up here. You can write in that book. If you want to connect, feel free to get my number, email, social media. More than happy to connect and build. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that's Tunji Talks. At the minute, I'm doing a series called Game Changers, where I look at 4 inspirational people in the entertainment industry. So the first one is Dame Dash. That video is out. Dame Dash is a music mogul, but he also has his own studio, production company and whatnot. And he's unapologetically black. If you listen to him, you'll feel hyped. So feel free to check out that video. Also, Belanle Austin Peters. I actually met this lady. Actually performed for her in Nigeria. She is she's a former lawyer for the UN, but she's now a producer. She wouldn't like me saying this, but she's like the equivalent of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Macintosh. But I'll say she surpassed them because she's got deals with Netflix and can watch her movies and shows on Netflix as well. And if you are fortunate to go to Nigeria, I encourage you to go to a theatre because it is the spot. Tyler Perry's coming. I've just made that video on Tyler Perry, and he really dropped some inspirational gems. And finally, I'll finish off with Tariq Nasheed, who made the Hidden Colour movies. And in my opinion, every black child on the planet should watch those movies because that's how inspirational they are. What's beautiful about those movies is that he talks to scholars and teachers and doctors and whatnot, and because their names come up in the films, the young people, or if you're curious, you can look them up, you can find their books, and they write beautiful books and articles. Lastly, thank you for coming, because without you, this event wouldn't happen. So thank you so much. If you'd like to stay, feel free. Thank you. Get home safe. Stay blessed.